picture wall.
Pink building. That used to be Saks Fifth Avenue, didn't it? This is Bloomingdale Road. Look at all this new construction. Wow. Bloomingdale Road goes to Bloomingdale's. That used to be Nestle's. And there's Bloomingdale. This is the city of White Plains, New York, Westchester County. We're trying to find our way to Harrison.
My mind is blank. Hey! See anything that looks familiar?
Sure, this is Bryant Avenue. That's Bryant Gardens. This is the property that's been taken over by White Plains. That's the guy who ripped us off for a starter and called the police. And I sat there 4 hours until he put in a new starter. That goes up to the church in the Highlands. This is Rosedale Cleaners.
Oh.
This is Mamaroneck. Bryant Gardens.
It's the same.
Yes. Bless you, little kitties. Bless you, little kitties. Person. This is where the golf tournament. Now it's called the Buick Special.
Yeah.
Westchester Open.
Right.
These homes are about $600,000. Janine Pirro used to live here. But when her husband was convicted of income tax evasion and sent to federal prison, they sold their huge place. This is wealthy Westchester and very unhappy Westchester. People are not happy here. Why? Well, I think it's because they're so acquisitive. There it is, Cablevision, Rinky Dink Harrison. So James Marone's sign, he lives in Purchase. And Murray sign, working for BCH. So, thank you very much. And I gave them each an envelope to tear off the heading off of a utility bill to send to Peekskill. Oh boy. And you want to know, there's one person working in customer service. Ralph is on vacation, I assume in the East Hamptons. And then in that rest of that whole building, they just have one person left. So I asked customer service Dennis what his name was, and Dennis didn't know. And nobody answers the door. I've been on that cable TV station since 1987. And this is a violation of my first come, first served right. I'm there for the rest of my life. And Charles Dolan keeps breaking the law. So we caught you, Charles Dolan.
And
Nobody working.
nobody's filling in for Ralph.
Yes, Dennis was filling in for Ralph. But the main thing is that here's this great big building. There's only 2 people there. And Christine Savarino is out more than she's in, but I'm glad of that. I wish she was out forever. And so we caught you, Charles Dolan. We caught you. As I've said many times, you don't know how to run a cable company, you certainly don't know how to run public access.
That's right.
What is this street? Is this North Avenue? Yes.
Yes.
North Avenue running from the town of Harrison to the city of White Plains, Westchester County, state of New York. And there's a cop. And a cop with time on his hands is dangerous. White Plains. Adding a great big extension. Rooms upon rooms upon rooms, and they don't do anything for people. Not anything. See what happens when you live a clean life?
Mm. Good for you.
I fed them twice.
Good.
And then I went back and looked, and they hadn't finished what I fed them the second time. Sachs is on a cruise. And Maria told me about collection agencies.
Retail.
Where's your napkin? Wait, you're going to throw that out immediately, so don't put it down. Here it is. There's the Sisters of Divine Compassion. Halo Land, Pace University Law School. And there it is. And this is where they grind out those horrible people called lawyers. Which goes all the way from New York City to Albany, the capital of New York State. And it goes along the Hudson River. Still. This is the court, so-called. Police station. Pick up the notebook I left. And if you lead a clean life, you'll find a parking space. See if the tally light is going. Folks, Boy, you remember how I went to Peekskill? And I spent all morning. 8 o'clock we started getting ready, and we went down to Peekskill. And it was hard driving because the sun was in your eyes. And we went all those miles, 60 miles, and it's 50 cents a mile on car use. And we went to Peekskill and we spent all morning, and we found Joseph Del Cambria, and he signed to put a chat with Glendora on the TV in the Peekskill area. And he was such a nice man, I told you. And I get there yesterday, and Cecilia Mastroianni tells me that Joseph Del Cambria said that he didn't want to sign for a chat with Glendora after Joseph gave me his signature and his word. He double-crossed me, and Cecilia double-crossed me. Why do they call him up? And that's extortion. That's extortion. The other cable companies don't do that. You get a signature and address, and also Del Cambio, I gave him a self-addressed envelope to Cecilia to send in a heading of one of his utility bills to verify the address. And even though he's a subscriber and he's on their subscribers list, this is out-and-out extortion. And let me tell you, Charles Dolan, you're going to get it. You and all your hoods, Mac Budil and Thomas Garger and Miles Rich and Christine Savarino, you're all going to get sued. I didn't even have to do this, you know. Every time you make me do this, you break the law. The law says first come, first serve. It does not say first come, first serve every 13 weeks. I've been on that TV station since 1995, and I have a statutory right to be there the rest of my life. And you're taking away my statutory right. So enough to make Katie throw up. So Joseph DeCambrio, you double-crossed me, 40 Putnam Road, Cortland Manor, New York, 10567, 914-739-3939. And Cecilia, you double-crossed me. And you violated a person's right. A person's right given to that person by Congress, first come, first serve, by the state of New York, first come, first serve, and by the city of Peekskill and those surrounding towns and the franchises, first come, first serve. And then this is Robert Angelo for Austining System. He lives in Thornwood. And I sent the envelope to Cecilia instead of sending it to Robert Angelo. So that's more pain in the gluteus maximus that you are causing as Charles Dolan down through Christine Savarino. And boy, are you going to get sued, and I'm going to end up owning everything you have. Then we have new signers in Harrison. That took, what, folks? That took from, we left here at 8:30. 7:30 we start getting ready, and it was 76 miles to Harrison, and then another, what would you say, 40 up to Peekskill, and we got up there about 1 o'clock, so that's another whole half day, making us get signatures in Harrison. Because McClure and then that bad man in Harrison, they double-crossed. Look at all this junk. Look at all this junk. The waste of shareholders' money. Look at it. Breaking the law. You're incorrigible, Charles Dolan. And Murray Kleinig signed in Harrison. Thank you, Murray. And Curtis Burnett Jr. signed in Peekskill. And Philip Gans, Gans, signed in Peekskill. He's a sweetheart. He said I was the picture of Christmas. And Deborah Akolka, 18 Valley Lane in Garrison, she signed for Peekskill. These lawbreakers. And I'm never going to give up on you, never. Okay? I'll stay after you as long as you break the law. From Peekskill, we went up to Walmart, and the gasoline at the Gulf station at Walmart was $1.66. That's way off. That's like 10 cents a gallon off. So don't go to the Gulf station up near Walmart. I think my Gulf station charges $1.55. And I picked up my brains. These are my brains, and I like a dummy. I left in Peekskill. Oh, look, and here are the jokes. Teacher, what's the plural of mouse? Mice. What's the plural of goose? Geese. Very good, children. What's the plural of baby? Twins. And Annette says, expect my husband to be exactly what he is today 20 years from now. And her girlfriend says, that's unreasonable. And Annette says, yeah, that's what he is today. The church had a rummage sale, and a woman went over to the minister, and she says, we're doing so well, we've sold everything. She says, you see that little room over there? I sold everything that was in that little room. And the minister said, that's the cloakroom. And Dora says, I have the most delicious recipe for casserole. I simply mention it. And my husband says, let's eat out. And Darlene was very impressed by the artist's colors. And she said to the artist, she was in the artist's studio, and she looked at his colors, and she said, your colors are so beautiful. They're just so beautiful. I wish I could take them home with me. And the artist says, oh, you will, ma'am. You're sitting on my brushes. And there are so many labor-saving devices on the market today that you have to work your whole life to pay for them. The reporter asked the girl why she chose this college, and she said because of the rating. It had the best rating. The reporter says, well, what rating was that? And she says, 10 boys to 2 girls. Okie doke. I'm glad to tell you that I saw Tim Lordy and his wife, Anita, last night at the post office. I was glad to see them again. He's a great patriot. These are the, we donated to 7 charities. I wish you would donate to them. The White Plains Beautification Committee, we sent them $5 on Christmas. The National Association to Preserve Social Security and Medicare. There's not going to be any Medicare when you need it, folks. The way these rip-off doctors and hospitals and ambulance services are dipping into the cookie jar. $60,000 coercing Franklin for something that he didn't need. The money's not going to last for you. Tenants and Neighbors, and ALK in Queens. They help the animals. And Tenants and Neighbors, and what were the other ones? I stopped at the White Plains Post Office and I saw a reader about forwarding our mail from Box 416. And I saw Jennifer, and I saw Sue, and then I went to see Brad Sachs, but he's off on a cruise with his family. The weather was perfect. I was surprised when we got to Walmart that the parking lot was so poorly plowed that, but that may not be their fault. Maybe there were so many cars there they couldn't plow. And they had a huge plow. The thing looked 4 or 5 stories high. And I didn't feed any seagulls. I was so impressed by those 2 little kids who called up and said to me, they said over the phone to me, "Thank you, Glendora, for feeding the birds in the Walmart parking lot. That means a lot to me." And they both said it. And then they left their numbers. I'll have to call them up and encourage them. And I want to encourage Jay, too, with his violin playing. Guess what? And at 4:30, I had to go through Walmart's fast. And Walmart's was crowded with people, of course, 1, returning things, and 2, taking advantage of the Christmas markdowns. So at 4 o'clock, and the post office closes at 5, so I went through Walmart's grocery department faster than I ever have before, in a half an hour. Usually takes me 2 hours. And to get up there, and guess what? I got there before the post office closed. And this is all the mail, in-mail, they said. You remember last time it was 94 pieces of in-mail? And look, these 2 came from White Plains. Oh, I know, I give to the Westchester Putnam Legal Services. National Wildlife, of course. They write you twice a week. And the Pet Adoption Center for New Rochelle. I don't know about them. I want proof that they found Rocky a good home, because Patty Ruggiero double-crossed me and double-crossed Rocky. And these 2 pieces here. And Jose said those were the only 2 pieces. Tapes from Queens and tapes from Manchester, Connecticut. And then Franklin wrote a letter to the bank that he wanted his, didn't want to roll over his CD because it's going into the Glendora Franklin Living Trust for the preservation of the pro se public access newspaper museum. And Rita gave me all the receipts, look at them, for forwarding mail. And the White Plains Post Office has not run out of teddy bear stamps. So I was happy to get those, because you can't get those up here. Aren't they adorable? Now, I think you got all of the news and all of the jokes. I don't have time to put up the graphics. This is Glendora, a chat with Glendora, on 36 cable TV systems throughout the country. The number is 914-949-9495. I had the Huntington number disconnected. The date is Saturday, December 28th, 2002, Anno Domini. And so that closes all of the reports for the week of December 23rd, Christmas week. And it was Franklin and Glendora wedding anniversary on Christmas Day for 48 years. And I hope you have 48 years or more of conjugal joy the way we have had. And I hope that you're as well off as we are or better. And I hope everybody is. So keep the courage flaming. And go out there and fight evil, just as the Bible tells you to. Okie dokes, folks. The new reports today, of course, it's the videotaping the first thing on Saturday mornings, and then making the dubs, the masters. And all these programs will be sent out on January 6th. So take care, okay? All right. See ya.
LLWWF.
Now let's hear from some lads from Scotland, the Proclaimers. I will walk 5,000 miles.
When I wake up, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who wakes up next to you. When I go out, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. If I get drunk, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who gets drunk next to you. And if I haver, yeah, I know I'm gonna be the man who's havering to you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm walking, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who's working hard for you. And when the money comes in for the work I do, I'll pass almost every penny on to you. When I come home, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home to you. And if I broke, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's going over you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be a man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door. When I'm lonely, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who's lonely without you. And when I'm dreaming, well, I know I'm gonna dream about the time when I'm with you. When I go out, well, I know I'm gonna be the man who goes along with you. And when I come home, yes, I know I'm gonna be the man who comes back home with you. I'm gonna be the man who's coming home with you. But I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more just to be the man who walks 1,000 miles to fall down at your door.
Now let's hear from the funniest man on both sides of the Atlantic, Mr. Hal Roach.
I've got a great job. Money in the bank. Last month, someone asked if I read the Bible. The Bible? I'm successful. I'm happy. What do I need the Bible for? I can get more from the Wall Street Journal. But that made me curious. So I decided to take a second look.
I'm on my feet all day. When I go home, I just want to turn on the TV and relax. But read the Bible? All those these and thous and begats? What's the struggle with that after waiting on customers all day? But then a friend showed me this version written in modern English, and I was surprised.
This guy I play hoops with said I should start reading it, the Bible.
Man, I said, I don't need no Bible. I mean, it just ain't cool. So he goes, I read it all the time. And he beat me by 20 points. So he gives me his Bible. I read it. It ain't hoops, but it ain't bad.
What's your excuse? Before you make an excuse to avoid reading the Bible, stop. Take a second look. Pick up the Bible for 5 minutes, and you may pick it up for a lifetime.
I've got a great job. Money in the bank. Last month, someone asked if I read the Bible. The Bible? I'm successful. I'm happy. What do I need the Bible for? I can get more from the Wall Street Journal. But that made me curious. So I decided to take a second look.
I'm on my feet all day. When I go home, I just want to turn on the TV and relax. But read the Bible? All those these and thous and begats? Who wants to struggle with that after waiting on customers all day? But then a friend showed me this version written in modern English, and I was surprised.
This guy I play hoops with said I should start reading it, the Bible. Man, I said, I don't need no Bible. I mean, it just ain't cool. So he goes, I read it all the time. And he beat me by 20 points. So he gives me his Bible. I read it. It ain't hoops, but it ain't bad.
What's your excuse? Before you make an excuse to avoid reading the Bible, stop. Take a second look. Pick up the Bible for 5 minutes, and you may pick it up for a lifetime.
I've got a great job. Money in the bank. Last month, someone asked if I read the Bible. The Bible? I'm successful. I'm happy. What do I need the Bible for? I can get more from the Wall Street Journal. But that made me curious. So I decided to take a second look.
I'm on my feet all day. When I go home, I just want to turn on the TV and relax. But read the Bible? All those these and thous and begats? Who wants to struggle with that after waiting on customers all day? But then a friend showed me this version written in modern English, and I was surprised.
This guy I play hoops with said I should start reading it, the Bible. Man, I said, I don't need no Bible. I mean, it just ain't cool. So he goes, I read it all the time. And he beat me by 20 points. So he gives me his Bible. I read it. It ain't hoops, but it ain't bad.
What's your excuse? Before you make an excuse to avoid reading the Bible, stop. Take a second look. Pick up the Bible for 5 minutes, and you may pick it up for a lifetime.
concert is usually Johann and Josef Strauss, music of Blue Danube and such things. But this is the first time, so we found some pieces that we really liked, and we're doing that for you. But today, to our orchestra rehearsal, I brought this little piece by Johann Strauss. It's a very short piece. And we decided to look at it, so I read it a few minutes ago before we... So we're going to see what happens. It's called the Pizzicato Polka. Pizzicato Polka.
spirits, more than in the spirits. I would really like to thank Jack for what he's done. He made a tremendous effort, and I think he has made a great success of this. So congratulations. Wish you all a good night, and thanks to all the listeners.
Let's wait a little bit, let everybody kind of clear out some first.
That's a light attached to the top.
Hey, Brian. You guys did good. Good. These are our neighbors. Andy. Hey, Jeff. How you doing? Hey, Jake.
These are pretty sweet.
Hi, Jay. This is Frankie,
Hey, how you
You guys did good.
and this is Jay.
Nice to meet you.
He shoveled out your cars for you.
So how did you enjoy it?
Oh, I loved it.
Love it. So
Boy.
glad you came out.
Oh, yeah, so glad. Yeah, you asked us to come so earnestly, I couldn't turn you down.
The harpist is good, wasn't she?
Oh, yes. And your violins were so good.
Sorry?
Your violins were so good.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, not fair. Not fair. It can't even stop snowing long enough for me to tell you about the last storm. It started to snow in the morning yesterday. It snowed all afternoon, snowed all evening. It must be 12 inches. And when I came out at 5 a.m., the driveway had been plowed. The doors are frozen shut. Now, I'm not talking just about the door locks. I'm talking about the whole door frame. It's frozen to the body of both cars. They're both covered with over a foot of snow. They couldn't be started. I had put the mail in the cars, ready to go out on errands Wednesday. And Wednesday we were encrusted and encapsulated because it was water on top of snow that froze, and then ice on top of that, and more snow, and another layer of ice. I said I wouldn't videotape anymore because last Saturday, the last Saturday of the year 2002, there were over 32 tapes, I believe, and I only need 36. So I said, no more videotaping. That's too much information. The concert that you saw was down at a church in Millbrook, a Federated Church, Methodist, Quakers, and somebody else. And now I come to tell you about the storm all over, and I get downstairs, and here's another storm. Yesterday was storm number 11. Today is storm number 12. Started in November. Christmas Day, Franklin and Glendora celebrated their 48th wedding anniversary. New Year's Day was beautiful. The lawsuits being worked on are Omnibus 14. Almost unmanageable, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. People keep doing wrong things and making the lawsuit longer. And then the medical rip-offs, the medical cheaters, Hopewell Medical, Sloper Willen Ambulance, Vassar Hospital, Scadudo, and a pile of other doctors we never even met. That's leading into a lawsuit. And in fact, I think Sloper Willen, they turned it over to a collection agency, so I think they're going to be sued in Omnibus 14. The others we can wait on, I think, to see if they come to their senses. Franklin was kidnapped, coerced, and victimized. The appeal, the appellant's brief for Glendora versus Charles Dolan and Cablevision in the Rye City Court for not returning Glendora's videotapes and for wasting the postage that she sent him to return them. That's 3. 4 is judicial misconduct complaint against Patricia A. Gaughan, Real Gaughan, Gaughan, in the United States District Court, Cleveland. Hi, Kate. Against Patricia A. Gaughan, Real Gaughan, Gaughan in the United States District Court, Cleveland. Hi, Katie. Come on down. Terrible, you won't want to see it. But you're a brave little kitty. Look at the shock in her eyes. And then the fifth legal paper is Glendora is writing a proposal for the Cablevision annual report for next year. It has to be in by January 17th for the year 2003. And then there's always file paginate in hours and dollars on Saturday. I believe it was on Thursday, the day after New Year's, that I had to do 98 telephone calls, 70 red calls, and 28 green calls. The red calls are to ask people if they have the money to advertise on TV on channel 247 in New York, $3,000, including the videotaping of the commercial and 100,000 viewers. The green calls are to ask CEOs if they want to buy an ad on the Super Bowl for $3 million, including the videotaping of the commercial and 60 million viewers. I got a perfect score on the words. I got an A+ on 1 to 50. I just missed one. Guess what it was? Number 26, that's gone. So I won't be missing that again. And then on 51 to 100, I got 100. I got a perfect. The other one was an A+. Hi there, folks. This is Glendora, Chat with Glendora. And guess what? There's a thing called free speech. And it's on the satellite. And I called up Nancy Harvey and Linda Iggy. It's out in Boulder, Colorado. And guess who told me about it? Smart Bill Houston, who knows so much. And Nancy said that the Congress mandated that satellite companies devote 4% of their spectrum to public affairs. And they are on the Dish Network, and I've forgotten what the channel number is, 95 something something. And they have a peace bus going around promoting peace. And somehow or other, Manhattan Neighborhood Network is tied into that. This is all philosophic. And Linda Iggy talked to me about putting a Chat with Glendora on the satellite, on the Dish Network. Now, what do you think of that? Does a satellite cover the whole world? Bill Houston said he thought it covered only North America. Only North America. And we're thrilled if we can get on in Harrison. And by the way, we want to thank Mary Ramage for signing in Harrison, in Yorktown. And we want to thank Deborah Ecklock for signing in Garrison for Peekskill. And Del Cambio, I'm very sorry there's a misunderstanding there. Franklin and I will have to take you and your wife for coffee so we can explain to you what's going on here. Because he pulled out. An ignominious thing to do, and I'm sure he wouldn't have done that if it had been presented to him correctly by Cablevision. And Murray Kleineck in Harrison. Murray is with the clearinghouse right across from Cablevision on Purdy Street in Harrison, and he signed. So we give him a lot of credit. He told his wife about it and says, "Oh yes, I've seen the program and I think it's very well done." You imagine somebody saying that about a chat with Glendora? And so Murray sent in his a copy of the heading of his utility bill. And Vivian Folsom is a sweetheart in Queens. She signed. And finally, Cablevision is getting around to playing the 2-hour specials in Cross River. And I lost my friend Kathy up in Pound Ridge because she dropped Cablevision and took the satellite because it's cheaper, and she had and the satellite gives her 2 TV sets, 2 different rooms. So they can't see a chat with Glendora anymore. I don't know, what do you think I should do about that? I wanted to find out about it because I wanted to tell you about it. So every time I sit down and telephone, like I did 60 calls yesterday, and I think I did 60 on New Year's, was it? No. The Thursday after New Year's Day, yeah. 60 telephone calls. So every day I telephone, I'll call them and talk to them for 4 or 5 minutes and report it to you until we get the picture puzzle all put together. Then we'll decide what we'll do, okay? Middletown is still a problem because the person who signed up there, I think his name is Eric, didn't fill in some of the lines. And Rick Haddard wants him to do that. And so Rick and I don't know what to do. Rick can't play the program until the spaces are filled in. So Rick says, well, I do. Send the application to you, Glendora. And I said, I called back and said, yeah, I guess that's the best thing. Send it to me and see if I can actuate it or activate it. And what else is going on? Portland, Oregon is getting ready to send me back a big box of tapes that have been cable cast. They can't go out until the holidays are over because of the college out there. There's some college out there, and they seem to be very close to that. Public access seems to be irrevocably tied into the college, and so the college won't be back for the mailroom to be open until after the intercession. Now, intercession. Now that's not intercession with a C, that's intercession with an S. English is so interesting and so confounding. The trust, the living trust, and folks, you got to do this, okay? You got to make sure that everything you have now, when you become disabled or when you die, goes to where you want it to go, not where somebody else wants it to go. And you've got to write out a living trust. A living trust means that it's working while you're alive, and it has to be revocable. because I guess if it's irrevocable, it's no longer a living trust. So ours is coming fine. I was hoping to get it done by Civil Rights Day, January 20th. It's an awful lot of work. But you've got to do it. Nobody else can do it for you. Network TV daytime is the last of the backlogs. The backlogs all started in July when we moved. And the last backlog is writing to CEOs and asking them if they will sponsor Glendora, A Cheerful Look at Life, which is about 6 or 7 jokes a minute long on network TV, daytime, news, primetime. Now what network? NBC, ABC, or CBS? My preferences is for NBC. That was Bob Hope's network. Still is, I guess, as long as Bob Hope is alive. What happens to a contract like that? When he was 80 years old, he signs a 20-year contract with NBC, and he can't make any shows because he's too old. When you get old, you fall apart. I thought the 2 little boys who called up and said thank you for feeding the birds in the Walmart parking lot, I thought that was so cute, don't you? Oh, I was going to tell you jokes. Why did the bunny rabbit ask to be changed into a goon within the next 24 hours? So he could be hare today and goon tomorrow. And a man was worried about his 4th daughter getting married, and he was asked, well, why? And he says, well, my first daughter married a man from Singleton, New Hampshire. They had 1 child. My second daughter married a man from Twin Oaks, Missouri, and they had 2 children. My 3rd daughter married a man from 3 Rivers, Michigan. They had 3 children. So why are you worried about your 4th daughter? She's going with a guy from the Thousand Islands. A little boy ran into the house and says, Grandma, I dropped my lunch bag on the driveway, and Dad backed over it. And Grandma said, that's Wheels on Meals. This group of women always met in the same woman's house every month. They had a little club, and one night they came, and they always met in the same room. And they said, this room looks so much better. What did you do to make it look better? You got new drapes? The hostess says, no. You got new rugs? Hostess says, no, same rugs. And the third one said, I know, you got new drapes. Hostess says, no. Well, what did you do to make this room look so much better? And the hostess said, I took down the ironing board. It was a foggy night, and a man was driving along the road. He was scared, and he didn't know the road. And up ahead, a car pulled in front of him. He says, oh, goody, I'll follow those red taillights, and that'll keep me out of the ditch. And he followed him for a long time. And then the car up front suddenly stopped, and the man behind hit him. And the 2 men got out, and the man behind says, what'd you stop so suddenly for? Why didn't you give me a signal? And the first man said, what, in my own garage? Now, a mother was telling her daughter, everybody needs a husband. Everybody, every woman has to get married, and every woman has to have a husband. Why? Because You can't blame everything on the United States government. This young man went to California to seek his fortune, and he wrote home to his father that he'd get a job, and the young man says, "That's a feather in my cap." And then the young man wrote home again, and he says, "I got a promotion. That's a feather in my cap." The young man wrote home a little while later, and he says, "I got a raise. That's a feather in my cap." Then he wrote home to his dad, and he says, "I want to come home for Christmas. Send me the airfare." And Dad said, "Fly home. You've got the feathers in your cap." Mary was showing her photographs to Joni, and Joni's looking at the photographs, and she says, "These photographs don't do you justice." And Mary says, "Well, it isn't justice I need. It's mercy." Billy ran home. When his father came home from work, Billy says, "Dad, I got 100 in school today." And Dad says, "Well, it's about time." "In what?" And Billy says, "I got 50 in reading and 50 in arithmetic." The teacher told the children to draw a picture of a cow eating grass. And then she asked them to bring their pictures up to her desk. And when Anthony brought up his picture, it was a blank sheet of paper. Teacher says, "What's this?" Anthony says, "A cow eating grass." "Well, there's no grass." "Well, the cow ate it all." "Well, there's no cow." "Well, when the grass was gone, the cow left." This is Glendora, a chat with Glendora. And now the next task is to make sure that we have 36 videotapes of a chat with Glendora to send to 36 cable TV stations, and to make sure that every cable TV station has a new program, and the other half is to make sure that every edition of a chat with Glendora has a cable TV station. yesterday when that snow slid off the roof and covered. Jay and Nancy and I got the 1993 cleared.
Right.
First of all, we got Nancy's car cleared because she could have got killed yesterday when that snow slid off the roof and covered the windshield. So I wanted to do that first so that when she took her car out, the roof would be clear and she wouldn't have that happen. That would endanger her life. Then Jay and Nancy left me with a 1980. I gotta somehow clear that off. I took a foot of snow off of that car, the 1980, and look at it, at the doors, it's almost 3 feet high. I guess I'm waiting for the snowblower. This is Rusty's red plaid throw. A year ago today, just about, Rusty had about 12 days to live. So 10 Chatwick Glendora tapes have been packed, wrapped, ready to post, and 10 more. That's 20, so that's over half of them. I think there's about 34 or 5. Folks, I should have videotaped this for you. It was really something to see. The ice that was encased the two Lincolns, it was over an inch thick. And I got it off by hitting it with a broom handle on the blunt end, and that would crack the ice into big chunks, and I could slide them off the cars. It's 3 hours yesterday, and maybe a half an hour today, and 2 hours a day before, and so forth. And tonight is 1 to 3 inches. This is how the desk gets all piled high, getting these 36 videotapes out. And you're no help, Penny. And look at the dollars here in postage. White Plains Post Office had teddy bear stamps. Post offices in Dutchess don't have them. Now, how does this look to you? Too bad it isn't smell-o-vision. It smells delectable. It's done. 36 tapes.
Good for you.
Chatwick Glendora are wrapped, ready to post. Franklin thinks it took about 5 hours. And it takes $1.42 for each tape, and then it takes $1.84 to return 4 media mail. Folks, a 1980 Lincoln doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there and leaks gas, I guess. Because we put $12 in it. About 7 gallons. It just doesn't go anywhere, you know. I would say 4 or 5 miles it's gone. So, here's the first step. You think I'll be able to get that into the gas tank? Do you think I'll be able to get the 1980 Lincoln started? So I got the gas into the 1980 Lincoln. And it took a long, long time to get it to start. So while I was waiting, I got the snow off of it. And then it was stuck over there. And it took about 6 tries with salt to get it out of the parking space over there. The lens got snow all over it. And then I wanted to turn it around, and the 1993 Lincoln was in the way. So I moved the 1993 Lincoln, and now it's stuck. So that's as far as I got, folks. Here they are, both of them stuck. We need a plow, and we need it sanded. Well, our reward for all of that hard work yesterday was another snowstorm, number 14. But at least we have a clear sky. First one we've seen for days. So, Mark got the cars parked to get them out of stuck mode and got them parked. So let's give it a try. Aaron's beckon. We finished that proposal to Cablevision Systems. The deadline on it is January 17th. And I've written it and sent it to Peter Munch to sign. We are assembled. This is the first day. To make it. Lots of ready for tomorrow. It's not snowing. Stuff. Goodbye, Nathan. Goodbye, Katie. Goodbye, Penny. Goodbye, Nathan's house. I don't quite understand the landlord. You won't plow and you won't rent this sand. Anyway, Mark Zier gave Mark Germont his gasoline jug in the factory. And now the post office. I bought 15 stamps for 40 cents. The Conic State Parkway, New York City to Albany, the capital of New York State. The path of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Nelson Rockefeller, Thomas Dewey, George Pataki. Who else? Mario Cuomo, right, from Brooklyn. Is there another one?
Leland.
Leland?
Leland.
Oh, Herbert Leland, right? And there's another one. Harriman. Alfred E. Smith. See that, folks? This is New York State Trooper. We'll see if Taylor can visit Franklin. Are you warm enough?
Yes, he was nice and warm.
This is where we saw that beautiful moonrise in November. Orange. Huge. Time we were here, December 27th. Okay, folks, how about this? We're going to get home before dark. Can you believe that? Isn't that nice? I thought when we said we'd get home before dark. Jackie, the manager of the bank, folks, lives way over in Ulster. takes 376 in Speck and Kill and on the Route 9, and then she takes the Mid-Hudson Bridge up to Poughkeepsie. And the minute you get at the end of the bridge, on the other side of the Hudson River, you are in Ulster County. And she lives way on top of a mountain. Way on top of a mountain. "33 miles. You people like to ride? I'd like to go for a ride. The sky is such a beautiful blue. And this is the luxury car. Smooth as a Lincoln. This is the first day we had that we could break out of the capsule. It's a nice ride, isn't it? We're going north, folks. North. Away from Manhattan. We met a man from Bangor, Maine. I knew he was genuine. Well, he said Bangor. He said Bangor. Bangor. Place up here called Bangles. 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 Bangles? Bangles. But it's Bangor. Rudy Valley was the University of Maine.
That's right.
Rudy Valley.
Yeah.
Drink. Folks, can you see these icicles? They're 5 feet long. Life on the Arctic tundra. Well, we got the errands done yesterday. And you know why we went yesterday? It was the only good day we've had for a long time. See what kind of weather this is? Yeah. This is this kind of weather. And now we're doing finances. Put the expenses into the diary. And then add up the first week of the year, business out and in, and personal out. And now the next job is to enter them into the, take them from the month sheet of December and put them into the year sheet. This is December. That's the diary, where you put them in each day with what comes in and what comes out. And a whole lot more goes out than comes in. And then you add up these columns. These are the end of the month columns. All of these. And now, next job is to get these into the end of the year. If you can find it. I guess we were looking at November instead of December. This is December. Here's the end of the month. Here are the end of the years. Okay, so you take the December's end of the months, Glendora, and you put them into the columns for the end of the year. That's all wrong. December has been entered. The job now is to add up each one of these and get the total out for the year by column. For instance, office supplies, postage, gasoline, groceries. Okay, here goes. I forgot to videotape the woeful pile of in-mail. There were 3 boxes of videotapes, 8 from Cable 5 in Litchfield, and 7 from Buffalo. And so we thank you, Robert Joyce, and we thank you, Rick Krolowitz. And then there's a whole pile of in-mail, and 25 of those have been opened. And here's the stack of details. About 6 details already and about 7 legal papers already. I got a postcard from the appellate term, Supreme Court, 9th and 10th Judicial Districts, State of New York, announcing that an oral argument for Glendora, Franklin versus Godfrey South was to be held at 9:30 a.m. on January the 7th. And I received the postcard on January the 7th at 3:30 in the afternoon. What's the solution to that one, folks? Well, I think you just make a motion to the court that they have the hearing all over again, that they didn't notify me in time. I missed Storm 15. Storm 15 covered both cars, but it's all gone. Clouds, you clouds, if you don't go away, the sun can't lift up more moisture. Okay? So if you want to rain again, clouds, go away. Yesterday was clear and perfect. What would you say, a foot? Is that a foot or 13 inches? What would you say? See, I forgot to videotape it when it was that high on ours. And underneath it, was an inch of ice. I'm trying to get this done for a week. I wanted the plow to plow out these parking spaces, and the plow didn't do it. So I've been shoveling it out. Because it's warm enough today, some of it is melting. Now I'll put kitty litter on it. You couldn't buy sand at Walmart. They were all out of it. You couldn't buy salt at Walmart. They were all out of it. Hey, how's that? You shoveled it out pretty well, huh? And I put salt down. The landlord's salt. And on top of that, my kitty litter. And so now let's get this one over to there, and we'll have what we want. A maneuverable parking space up here on the Arctic tundra.